Have you ever wondered about the idea of a United States of Africa? It's a powerful dream that has fueled a continent for decades. Let's dive into the story of how this dream led to the creation of the African Union. Our story begins in the mid-20th century. As African nations began to break free from colonial rule, a powerful idea swept across the continent: Pan-Africanism. Visionary leaders like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, and Haile Selassie of Ethiopia championed the cause of African unity. They believed that only by working together could African nations overcome the legacy of colonialism, achieve true independence, and build a prosperous future. This wasn't just a political idea, it was a cultural and intellectual movement, celebrating shared heritage and a common destiny. The goal was clear: unity, solidarity, and collective self-reliance. Out of this fervent spirit, the Organization of African Unity, or OAU, was born on May 25, 1963, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. 32 newly independent states signed its charter. The OAU's primary mission was to eradicate colonialism and apartheid from the continent, defend the sovereignty of its member states, and promote unity. And it had some major successes. The OAU provided crucial support to liberation movements in Southern Africa, playing a key role in the eventual downfall of apartheid in South Africa and the independence of countries like Angola, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. It was a powerful symbol of a continent taking control of its own destiny. However, the OAU had its limitations. One of its core principles was non-interference in the internal affairs of member states. While this was intended to protect national sovereignty, it often meant the OAU stood by silently during civil wars, coups, and human rights abuses. It was criticized for being a dictator's club, unable to hold its own members accountable. As the 21st century approached, it became clear that the OAU's structure was outdated. The continent faced new challenges: globalization, economic development, pandemics, and complex security threats. A new, more dynamic organization was needed. This led to a historic transformation. On July 9, 2002, in Durban, South Africa, the OAU was officially dissolved and reborn as the African Union, or AU. This wasn't just a name change, it was a fundamental shift in philosophy. The AU adopted a new principle: the right to intervene in member states in grave circumstances, such as war crimes, genocide, and crimes against humanity. This was a direct response to the failures of the OAU. The new AU had a much broader mandate, focused not just on political liberation but on accelerating the political and socio-economic integration of the continent. To achieve this ambitious goal, the AU established a new structure, inspired in part by the European Union. It includes the Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the Pan-African Parliament, the African Court on Human and People's Rights, and a Peace and Security Council, which can deploy peacekeeping missions. One of the AU's most significant initiatives is Agenda 2063, a 50-year strategic framework for the continent's development. It outlines a vision for an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa, driven by its own citizens. It's a blueprint for everything from infrastructure projects and free trade to good governance and cultural revival. After 15 years of existence, the AU has a rather abysmal performance, much to the disappointment of many Pan-Africanists. We shall discuss the successes and failures of the African Union in the next video. Stay tuned.